All right. Well, welcome for those of you who can make it today and this lovely Monday. It is Monday, right? So today I'm here to talk to you a little bit about Handshake. I know a lot of you are very familiar with Handshake in general. It's okay if you're just getting started. This is kind of built, the session is really going to be talking about how to get started with certain things, as well as how to become not expert, but start to think about some of the other ways that you can utilize Handshake that you might not already be doing if you are, or if you've seen someone within your department use Handshake before. I'm Tina Cooper. I am our internship coordinator on campus. And just to kind of give a refresh on Handshake, how it came to campus, we did introduce Handshake to our students back in around July of 2018. Handshake is quickly growing into one of the most widely used CSM, career services management systems in the US. It has replaced some very big name CSMs that schools have used previously. At that point in time, we did use the jobs module only. We do use quite a few different areas of the Handshake system now. We originally started out with using this for our external jobs, for internships and jobs for our students, similar to things like Laker Leads that we had in the past for students, which is a system for our students to utilize for free as both students and alum to find opportunities that are out there. We began using this for on-campus internships the fall after implementing very slowly. At that point in time, we were also steadily growing the on-campus internship programs, which in the internship programs themselves have grown over 400% in the past few years, which is crazy to look back on. But we've also been using Handshake for a majority of those programs on campus. I was actually pregnant at the time. I remember presenting with Gary Morris from Career Services to the Student Affairs Directors meeting in February of 2020, at which time we realized as a campus, our students are able to utilize this, and we had not previously utilized our career services management system for on-campus jobs and work study positions, student assistant positions. So now we do utilize Handshake for all of the opportunities on our campus, which is just a huge deal. It's not something that we used to have as far as having everything in one place for students. It has mitigated a lot of confusion for students, really streamlined the process so that they can get a feel for the differences in these types of positions. We've had a lot of great buy-in from our on-campus departments, as well as faculty who now are understanding the system and can point students in the right direction to find opportunities. Many of you are posting student assistant positions as well as work study on top of your internships. Many people have departments that one person oversees the interns for the department, one person might oversee work study positions, but the system really can be used for everything. There are differences that you want to be aware of, but we'll kind of go to those. So we are seeing many departments on campus in their second or third year of using the system. With the fluctuation in on-campus employment and internship availability because of the pandemic, we still have had a lot of opportunity coming in. Surprisingly, I did expect there to be kind of a plateau in opportunities being developed, but I was wrong. We have seen continuous growth throughout all different types of opportunities. So we also have buy-in from the financial aid office with Jenny Hoffman currently, previously Jessica Slack. Financial aid has been a wonderful partner with the work study aspect for students. So kind of getting into some of what we're going to cover right now, just some things to consider when using Handshake and thinking about how to reach a student body with your postings, posting a position overview, what that should look like, student perception, writing it for them and making sure the things that you're construing in a posting through Handshake are going to come off in the same way that you are perceiving them. Applicant review tips. We have the ability in Handshake to actually see your applicants and kind of utilize different tools within that applicant section to really narrow down even who you're offering interviews to, as well as Handshake messaging. Handshake is completely individualized based on your user account. Even if you have multiple people within the same department in an organizational account or departmental account, you are able to adjust your user settings based on how you are interacting with candidates and postings. So some things to consider when you are using any job base, whether this be you're using, maybe you have ever seen a posting on Indeed.com. I have a lot of people who will come to me and say, Tina, I need help understanding how to write a description. I need help understanding the difference between an internship, work study position, student assistant, previously called temp service position. So let's talk about some of the things that you should consider. I just mentioned one of them, which is different terminology being confusing for students. So a lot of students come in and think that they are ready to apply for everything available on the campus. A lot of students in the past, previous to using Handshake, I would offer a work study job to students and they'd say, well, I want to apply to that. And I'll ask, do you have work study? And they look at me and they're like, I don't know what that means. A lot of work study students have never heard that term before. And a lot of students who would really not be work study think that they are eligible for work study. One of the great things about Handshake is that it is actually connected to our systems on campus that allow us to know if a student truly is work study awarded or not. That is the part that really is heavily overseen by financial aid, luckily. Student assistance. It's really important to make sure in our postings and Handshake, we're determining if it is an internship, it has the word intern in the title. If it is a student assistant, we're not putting things like intern or work study, unless it's a paid internship. There are a lot of differences that we want to be aware of, especially when you're talking about internships versus volunteers. For example, the library, shout out to Penfield, just recently established their volunteer ambassador program for library ambassadors, which has done really well. And they're a volunteer-based program. It is not an internship. It is not a work study position. It's not a student assistant paid position. They are volunteers. So making sure that you really first and foremost have an understanding of the posting and the position that you're going to offer before putting it in a job base like Handshake is really important. If you're confused, they will be confused. While all students do have Handshake accounts, every SUNY Oswego student has a Handshake account. It's just a matter of them having to go in and actually claim that account. So some are new at using Handshake. They're a transfer student, they're a freshman. Students do actually gain access to their Handshake account a week after receiving their new oswego.edu email login. And once they're a student with us, incoming freshman or incoming transfer. So a lot of students are going to be using this. They're going to be hearing about Handshake all across campus from staff, faculty, other students. So it is important to make sure your opportunities are in there, but also remembering that there are students who will be in this for the first time, have never seen it before. Timelines, it's really important to think about your semester differences. Is a position going to have a different timeline? If a student's going to be working with you for the summer, is it a work study position where students are only receiving funding during fall and spring, not during winter or summer for that work study position? Is it an internship where you have to be sure that it starts on the first day of classes, ends on the last day of classes? Making sure that end dates are apparent for internships and work study positions. Might not have an end date for something like a student assistant. You might be listing it as permanent because you really just want that student to continue on until they graduate. So you are the expert. Whether you feel like it at the time of creating this position in Handshake or not, it's important to fake it till you make it. We're happy to assist you every step of the way in posting things in Handshake so you feel comfortable. I can promise you that students want to apply to positions in Handshake that look structured, that look like they're well put together, that have goals, that have a list of things that they're going to be doing on a daily basis, that have all the info. If there are big key components missing in a position in Handshake, they're not likely to apply to it, which is a waste of your time in using the system. So make sure that if you do have questions, feel free to become the expert in any area that you feel is going to help you out. Flexibility. So another thing to mention is sometimes student needs come into play and changing situations about what your departments may be looking for come into play. You can absolutely edit positions anytime in Handshake. If you ever have concerns or if it gets pushed back to pending for students to see, we can always reapprove that posting for you. I've seen positions that were previously internships become paid student assistant positions that can also be used for internship credit. You might post something that's a paid student assistant temp line through your budget, and then a student says, hey, can I get internship credit for this? We can absolutely work through that and talk about, what do students actually want to see? Do we have a need for more paid internships on campus? Work study. You might determine that you're going to take a work study position and you need someone to be working more hours than a work study position can do. So you might need to change it to a student assistant position, and we have to adapt in Handshake and in the posting. So keep that in mind when you are posting opportunities, that they can change and to be flexible. So posting basics. I'm going to go right into this, and I'm going to show you a position that I have posted in Handshake previously, that if I am in my employer account and you have an employer account, anyone on the SUNY Oswego campus can have what's called an employer account. Even though you are not an external employer, every department on campus is able to have a departmental account. Most of them do, and utilize that system in your individual user account. As you can see, this is my name up in the right-hand corner over here, Tina Cooper. This is my user account, and I can actually go in and post positions. So it's important to know that if, for example, I go to my company profile, you can actually see that there are multiple people in this. So we do have multiple people who have their own user accounts, but are connected to the Excel overall department account. When you create your Handshake account, if you have not already, you will connect with your specific department. You don't want to connect with SUNY Oswego Excel. I love you, I love working with you, but you don't work in my department. All right. So career services, same thing. Excel and career services get a lot of requests for staff to join our accounts. You actually would join your own department's account. I know it's confusing because career services and Excel teams oversee Handshake, but you would actually have access to your own area. So going back to jobs and looking at the job that I created for the purposes of today, this is our internship program promotions intern for fall. So again, when you are creating a position, it's going to look, you're on your home page, you're going to click this button, post a job, and this goes for everything: internships, on-campus student employment, for work study jobs, and for student assistant positions, volunteer roles. A lot of these other areas are used, but again, they might be used by our external employers to post things to our current students and alumni. So going back to the position that I do already have, and you're going to see it looks very similar. I went ahead and I posted this position. I'm going to go to edit mode so you can see that same frame of view that you had before. We want to make sure that everything in here, there are certain things that you want to be aware of, is making sure you're choosing the correct job type. And I know, is a volunteer position a job? No, but for the purposes of Handshake, it refers to everything as a job. Employment type, making sure you're selecting the correct employment type and duration. Work study positions should always be listed as temporary seasonal. So should internships. If you have a student assistant position and you list it as permanent, a lot of times that's viewed as okay, because again, you're having them start and you don't know their end date. For work study positions, you should always know the end date, which is the end of the academic year for their federal work study award. And for internships, it's a semesterly based opportunity. So work study jobs, this right here is what's going to allow you to select if it's work study or not. If it is work study, you want to make sure that you type work study in the beginning or end of your job title so that that is obvious to a student aside from this work study area here. We try to make work study positions as obvious as possible for a number of reasons. We don't want students to try to, students who are work study, we want to make sure that they're viewing the correct positions that are going to work for their federal work study award. If a student does not have work study, they will not be able to apply to this position in Handshake if you select that it is work study. So another thing that's important, I'm going to go back here for a second, is writing the position for the student. So thinking about the title, making sure that that title is going to be something that carries over onto a resume and makes sense to a future employer. For example, I actually had this conversation with a few people on campus recently. If you have a position title that is relevant to an area on campus, an acronym on campus, a specific program on campus, make sure that when it goes on a student's resume that they either know a different way to word it so a future external employer is going to know what the heck that title means, or right from the get-go you post it as something that's going to be transferable to that resume. A great example would be if I had all of my interns be called Excel office interns. That doesn't tell an employer anything other than the word Excel, which in their mind might mean Microsoft Excel, when in reality, they're a promotions intern. So making sure that promotions intern is really the title for that student. Same thing goes with work study and student assistant positions. I've seen all different types of titles that I try to encourage our on-campus supervisors to think about these things, about the career development of the student and how it's going to carry on. Paragraphs versus bullet points. I see a lot of internship positions that instead of roles and responsibilities kind of bulleted out, they're in a paragraph format. With the Gen Z population, it is very important to make sure that you use bullet point and key takeaways. We usually say anywhere from 4 to 6 key takeaways and bullet points. If you want to do more, that's fine. But again, try to stay away from that paragraph. It is not commonly used anymore. Qualifications as well. We have a lot of students who are afraid to apply to work study positions, internships, and student assistant positions if they feel that the qualifications are too formally worded, if they use too many concepts that the student might not feel that they have mastered yet. It's important to make our students feel like that these jobs on campus and internships on campus really do exist as co-curricular opportunities where they're able to learn and grow. We are a college campus, and these are college students who are doing just that every day, learning and growing. So please try to remember when you're making qualifications to not hold student workers to the same level that you would a experienced professional staff with your qualifications. It's really important to me to empower our students to understand that they absolutely are qualified for these student roles. They also want to see a contact name at the end of your position, making sure that if they have questions and they don't want to just apply, they want to ask some questions before they place their application in Handshake, who are they reaching out to? Just say, if you have questions about this opportunity, please email so-and-so at your email. You can absolutely also drop a line there that says, please do not email this person if you are just looking to apply. Please go through Handshake. But if you have general questions before applying, please feel free to reach out. They want to see that they are going to have a direct communication line. So the other thing to think about is, what did they see? What are the different things that they see as far as GPA requirements, as far as, is it a remote worker position? Thinking about how the posting is actually going to be viewed on their end is really important. Handshake does allow you at the last part of your posting a position to see the preview. So let's go back to the posting for a second. And I'm going to go through this again. We went through that details and some of the things that we want to make sure are key takeaways. I always format my postings in internship term is going to be only for internships, obviously. Weeks and hours and credit. These again are very important if you are posting an internship opportunity. Site supervisor or supervisor, that is something that should always be in any student opportunity posting, whether it be work study, student assistant, or internship. Supervision and training, this as well. If you have planned a work study position or an assistant position and a student is going to come in right off the bat, if I'm a student applying to this, what's the training? What type of orientation am I going to have into the department? Am I going to at least have the opportunity to learn about the organization? You'd be amazed at how many students ask themselves that question, don't see anything about supervision and training, and are automatically scared off because they don't feel as though there's going to be a whole bunch of orientation going into the position. Roles and responsibilities, again, keeping that bullet point format, highlighting some main key areas, really important. You'll notice in my qualification section here that I kept it very slim. So with this position, the student status matters, the GPA matters, but I'm very open to say, or career interest. I'm a biochemistry student. I had no business working for career services as an office assistant, as a student assistant for 3 years in my undergrad. But I did get the job, and I did, hopefully Gary Morris would say that I did do well in the job now that I'm working in higher ed. But again, there are many students who will surprise you in their major area. They might just be in a major they're going to change eventually. They might be thinking about a career trajectory change. So don't tell students that you must be this major, because it can, again, really keep you from some rock star candidates that are on our campus. For internships, if you post an internship on campus, please ensure you are saying planning to earn academic credit and that they are eligible for credit, because it is important. All of our on-campus internships are for academic credit. Skills required. This is a great opportunity to talk about your skills, but again, talking about the whole person, not just technical areas. Technical areas, listing too many technical areas that a student has to be completely proficient in, can be a huge scare off for students as well. And we want to make sure that everything is more about how they attack a project, how they critical think. All those soft skill areas are absolutely great areas to outline, but just be careful and think to yourself, if you can, go back to your very first job or internship before you graduated, before you started off on your career path, and think to yourself, if I was reading this as a student, would I have been scared to apply to this? I remember my first internship and my first job, and I was absolutely terrified to apply to both of those things. Application, again, listing that contact if they have any questions about the position, something that I didn't cover in this information here. I posted this, great. I think I've covered everything, but maybe there's something I didn't think about that student really wants that direct contact for. A lot of this is very straightforward. Students will not see how many students you expect to hire for this position. They will see if it's paid or unpaid. If it is unpaid, you just select unpaid. If it's an unpaid internship or a volunteer position. Job location, very straightforward. This is an area you want to be sure you understand. If you have questions about these 3 questions, please feel free to let us know. A lot of people will say that it does not require US authorization. This should be the way right here that you answer these 3 questions for all of your positions. All right. All of our students do have the appropriate paperwork that they need in order to be on our campus in different roles. Required documents. I highly recommend always requiring a resume. You do not need to always require a cover letter. I require them for all of my positions, including work study positions and student assistant positions. But some folks on campus do not feel that they want to require a cover letter for their work study positions, which is completely fine. That's up to you. This is an important area as well, because these areas right here can be limiting factors to students able to apply. All right. So if you read right here, students who do not meet your work authorization, graduation date, GPA, and major preferences will still be able to apply, but they'll actually highlight for you which ones to filter out. And if that's the case, it's actually you have this portion down here with your contact information where it says only send applicants who match all preferences. That is up to you. Personally, I recommend sending all applicants, because you might find just because they don't match every single component that you had outlined, they might still be a good candidate. So I always encourage people to send all applicants to themselves. I also select that I want an email every time a new student applies, so I don't miss anything. You can do it summary based, but especially if you have a rolling application system, depending on the position that you're posting, just think about that, because this will email you a summary packet of all of the applicants versus you'll be notified every time a student applies if you select this. All right. So then every time you post, you're able to, for example, we are connected with a lot of institutions because we posted a graduate assistant position and posted that out to a whole bunch of different universities. of undergraduate students who might come to SUNY Oswego for graduate school. We are connected with SUNY Oswego, so I made sure that this internship posting that is internal only for SUNY Oswego students was posted to SUNY Oswego students. All right. And then here's the preview of my position. Okay. So let's go back over here for a second. Application review. So right here is actually a screenshot of how it's going to look to the student perspective. They're going to be able to click that apply button and they're going to be able to upload their materials after reading that full posting. Very simple process for students. I selected a resume and cover letter. So that is what my applicant, Tina Cooper, decided to do. All right. So really quick, I'm going to go through these slides and then I'm going to head back into Handshake and just kind of go over those different areas. So some of the ways we talked about how you are able to look into your applicants, right? There are also these areas where you're able to set up communications with your applicants. So yes, you're going to be notified every single time that a student is applying if you select to be notified every single time, but Handshake messaging is also really great. Say you're someone, oh, I don't know, like Lisa Evanesky, who gets 50 inquiries a semester about their internship opportunities. And you want something set up so that every time someone's applying to your Handshake message or your Handshake posting, they're getting a Handshake message automatic that says, hi, student first name. Thank you for applying for the Title IX internship, spring 2022. I've received your application and we'll be reviewing it shortly. That's auto sent to the student. And you use piped fields like first name and job title to automatically generate it. So the student, this email, if I were receiving this, it looks like it's to me and it says from Tina Cooper. So clearly Tina Cooper was emailing me directly by my first name about this position. So she's going to get back to me when she reviews my application. This on the left-hand side is what it looks like in the supervisor, whoever posted the position's email. You're going to get a notice that says new application for that posting in Handshake. That will be sent to you every time, again, if you selected for it to be every time a student applies. So Handshake messaging, going back one, the first option you have is pending received. Then you can also set it up to do auto messaging if you review an application and if you decline a student for a position. These are important. Not a lot of people want to send an email notice every single time they review an application. If you mark it in Handshake as reviewed, you can automatically say, okay, Tina, we've reviewed your application. At this time, if your experience and resume is a good fit, we'll be in touch with information about next steps. And then say we had an interview with the student and it didn't really seem like they were going to work out for the position. Declination emails. How did I write that last declination email to the student that I didn't give this position to last semester? I want to keep it consistent. I like keeping things consistent for our students. So my declination emails are always the same. And again, if I move them to decline and Handshake, it will auto send this email to the student, letting them know that unfortunately they haven't been chosen, but to feel free to reach out if we post another position that they're interested in. So let me go back one. So we're going to go into applicants because this is my internship program. And again, I'm in my employer account. I'm in my jobs. And let me just show you from the get-go how to get to that again. If you log into Handshake, I got a notice that I've got some applicants. I didn't click the link in my email, even though that was an option. I'm going to go to that job I know is still active, I'm going to go to my applicants, and I'm going to take a look. So Tina Cooper. All right, right now her status is pending. I'm going to take a look at her documents. All right. We've got a resume. We've got a test copy here. As you can see, this is my cover letter. It is very obviously a test document that I have put in Handshake today. We're going to go back here. And I've decided after looking at Tina's documents that, you know what, she's got some good experience. So I'm going to say that I've reviewed her documents. Tina Cooper is automatically, as a applicant, going to get that reviewed email that I showed you a second ago. All right. So I reached out to Tina and I had an interview with her, and I decided either that I was going to take them on as an intern or I was going to decline them. If you hire them in Handshake, and again, you don't have to use this way, but it's a really great way to not muddy your inbox. Be like, where did I leave off with that student? What did I say last to them? Now you'll know, because all of these things are automatic. Hired will not automatically send a message. If you do a hired status, you will want to send something that is directly from you. But declined, unfortunately, Tina didn't make the cut. Someone else was better fitted for this. So I'm going to automatically send the decline. All right. So how do you do this? When you're in your profile and you click on your name, and at any point in time, it doesn't matter what page you're on in your profile, you're going to see right here that your name's always going to be at the top right-hand corner. So you click that and you go to your user settings. All right. So your account information, you can update your account information at any point in time. Your notification preferences, that's another really great area if you want to update your notification preferences. All right. Notification refers to this little globe up here, little network globe. Email, pretty obvious what an email is. Status messaging preferences is what I am referring to in those screenshots. Pending, reviewed, and declined status for your applicants. All right. So as you can see here, I have these set up, and I can insert my variables, student first name and job title, if I want to set up my auto messages. It's really great for time efficiency. Honestly, I've had a lot of people really enjoy using their status messaging. All right. So if you have questions about these things, please let me know. I know it is a lot to take in. There are so many ways to be using Handshake. All right. One of the other things that I did kind of want to mention before anything else, if I go back to my jobs here, left hand, don't be afraid of using the left-hand bar. The great thing about Handshake is that there are a lot of ways to get to the same part of your account. So if I go to jobs here and I click on that internship that's active right now, I can also go to matches. So I have listed in this position that I want a junior senior. I think I put a minimum 2.75 GPA actually in this posting. So all of a sudden, I can see students in my matches who are in Handshake have active Handshake accounts that match majors that I've selected, match junior senior status, match the GPA because it's connected to Banner. Yeah. So now I can actually go through all of these students and see if I wanted to, I could actually reach out. Look at all these actions here. I could label, I can reach out to them and say, hey, invite to apply. And they get an email saying, hey, look at this opportunity in Handshake. What a better way to do that if you've got work study students and you're not getting enough applicants in work study positions or student assistant positions. Can you absolutely work with myself in Excel and career services and go through our newsletters, get opportunities posted? Yeah. Can internship people come to the on-campus internship expo and get their opportunities out? Yeah, but why not also use this as a great tool to connect with students who actually match your criteria that you've put forth in the posting? So think about that. Another thing to do if you wanted to create an event, you can actually create events and host sessions. Say you wanted to host an info session about your opportunity and connect with students that way. If you post an event in Handshake to SUNY Oswego students, we actually get it on our end and career services end, and we can approve that. And you can have an info session with students to learn about your opportunity. Not many people on campus are taking advantage of that. And I find it funny because we have so many external employers that do just that. We have so many external employers that are seeking part-time jobs, paid internships, full-time jobs eventually, and they'll do info sessions with students. There's nothing holding back our on-campus people from doing info sessions with students. There's no reason not to. So jobs, again, is just kind of one of those things that, like I mentioned before too, how there are multiple ways to get to one area in Handshake. For example, I showed you from your home page, you can click post a job. If you click jobs, you can click on create job, brings you to that same page. One thing to know, on-campus interviews is a portion of your Handshake account that you don't need to use. One thing to keep in mind about on-campus interviews, this module within the employer account was created for external employers. So every time someone says on campus that they're interested in on-campus interviews, we kind of realize that no matter what, the interviews are going to be done on campus because it's an on-campus opportunity. So you don't need to do anything with on-campus interviews. That really is built for our external people. Keep in mind, fairs. So we do for internship people, I use Handshake for all of our on-campus internship sites to sign up for the on-campus internship expo, and it's done through fairs. So again, like I mentioned a second ago, events and creating a new event, you can do that from your homepage as well. So right now, I kind of want to open it up to anybody who has questions. I am going to stop my share for a minute and get back to my main screen. Does anybody have any questions about some of the information that I've shared or certain areas that you've maybe struggled with Handshake?
I have a quick question.
Yeah,
how are we going to create our account?
Yeah, so if you have not created a Handshake account yet, and you already have a organizational account in Handshake, say a departmental account, I would work with you to get you an invite link. All right. And then that invite link would automatically connect you to the correct departmental account. If your department does not have a Handshake account, I will create a departmental account for your department and then do the same thing.
Okay, great. So I'll send you an email.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
Yep. Other questions or points that, yeah, Shirley.
You have a template when you were doing the job description. You were mentioning things to include. Is that part of the prompt in there, or do you have a template like of things that we should include?
I can absolutely send you a template. I have hundreds of job descriptions and intern apps. It'd take me 2 seconds to send you a quick example.
That would be awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. You looking for internship, work study, or what type of opportunity?
Internship and volunteer.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I am happy to. A lot of times I developed apps back in. Hi.
Yes, me too.
Yeah, right. Everyone, right? Lisa's a great example too. I'm really excited for Lisa to start using Handshake more, just because Lisa is one of our internship supervisors who is very inundated with requests for postings. Lisa, have you noticed anything, Lisa, about information I've shared right here that you think is going to help your process?
Yeah, actually, while you were talking, because I'm a hands-on learner, I was going through and updating my work study ad. And so, I think everything helps. I think one thing as you're updating though, that I didn't realize, because I thought I lost all the work I had worked on, is you have to save it at the end. So it's kind of like other systems where you tab through, just make sure to save it, because I did have it all in there. I just thought I lost it.
Yeah, and Lisa, you might even have things in your expired section, because I know
that's what I did.
An organizational account.
I edited that. Yeah. So no, I think I think one thing that you said that was really helpful that I definitely didn't do before is fill in as many of the fields as you can, because in the past I would like fill in something just because it needed something filled in, but I wasn't as thoughtful about it. So I think you're right on about the write it for students with bullet points. I think all of that stuff's really helpful.
Yeah. And I mean, when it comes down to it, I love my students me too, though. If there is a lot of information, how many of us receive an email and it's 4 paragraphs long and we're like, and that can wait until an hour from now? Because it's when you are looking through job descriptions, it's the same thing. It's got to get to the point. At the same time, you are conveying the overarching effect of the position, but what are their daily roles? And it's like, how do you balance that? One of the things I wanted to mention too, now that I just thought of it, is Lisa mentioned having positions that she'd used in previous. For example, if I have this position, I can actually duplicate the position. So if I duplicate this job, I can actually go ahead and duplicate this. And what that's going to do is give me a fresh slate of applicants. So for example, pretend for a moment that we're not heading into spring of 2022, we're heading into spring of 23. And all of a sudden I'm like, I'm not going to use the same position because I want a fresh slate of applicants, but I just duplicated my posting. So all I have to do is update it, including the start date, end date, when it applies, but nothing else in that posting has changed. If you like it the way it is, and you're just looking to do something very similar to a past position, just duplicate the posting and edit it. Because then you don't have to recreate the wheel and figure out, I got to copy and paste this entire description. What did I put that setting as? Just duplicate it. I've had a lot of people have a lot of success with that. John Kane himself, I feel like, does his positions as duplications. Tim Nekritz does duplications of his postings. We have a lot of people who've become really used to using the Handshake system. Work study people too. I've worked with a lot of people who have used this for work study for at least a few semesters now, and really like the usability aspect to it. So, and as always, if you have questions, feel free to let me know. That's my face, promise, same face. If you've got questions, follow me on Tina Talks Internships, connect with me on LinkedIn if you're not already. I feel like I've connected with everybody on LinkedIn at this point, but that's my email in case it doesn't pop up in your email for any reason. But if you have more questions at this point, feel free to think on this. If there's an area that you want to play with first before asking a question, I do hope that this was helpful for you today. I know it's a lot of information. Quite frankly, I could do 5 workshops on Handshake because there's just so much you can do with it. So I know it takes a bit of time to get acquainted with, and I'm sure all of us just love using a new system. We don't have enough systems, right? Okay. So if you think of anything, happy to answer your questions right now. But other than that, I appreciate your time today and listening to me as I work through that. So thank you.
Thank you, Tina.
Thank you.